Signs in the sun, moon, and stars. This is Mazzaroth Decoded, January 21st through January 25th. Welcome back, family. Okay, here we are back on Stellarium, and we're looking at Asteroid Psyche. This is Asteroid Psyche, and what we have to do is Psyche has been marking the horns. So in order for us to see this, this is not an alignment. This is Psyche coming out of retrograde. So let's go ahead and take a look at this retrograde motion. So we can see Psyche has been essentially marking the horns. It went into retrograde here, and now it's moving back towards the head, and then it comes out of retrograde there on the 21st. And then we can watch it move forward. And again, it's just marking the horns. And if we go back here, there's an incredible alignment here on the 10th. And we'll be getting to that because there's some signs for the 10th through the 13th that we're going to be talking about. And this here is the point in the head of Taurus. Now, again, Taurus is a sign of judgment. And these horns, we've talked about these horns many times. If you've been following my channel, then you know how important these horns of Taurus are. They can be seen as trumpets. They can be seen as signs of judgment, and they can also be seen as the two houses of Israel. You have Judah, and then you have Israel, and that can be seen as the two houses of the completed Israel. Oh, and then you can also see it as the Jews and the church. I've seen a lot of Mazzaroth watchmen break these down in different ways, and I have to say I agree with all of them because there is, from my understanding, there's multiple ways and multiple levels of understanding here, and it goes very deep, and it seems as though different researchers are getting different understandings to bring forth more depth in what this really is, because it's a grand story and there's really no way for one person to tell the whole story. And so I think it's very beautiful. All the research that's done on the Mazzaroth is incredible. And so I want to make sure I point out that Taurus has been seen as a sign of judgment. The horns have been involved in judgment. And then I also want to point out the star Aldebaran, and that is essentially like the bull's eye. And it's right there with what we call the hyades. And the hyades in the head of Taurus are considered the called out ones. And then you have, it's compared to the wise and the unwise virgins. Sometimes they will call the Hyades the wise virgins and the Pleiades the unwise virgins. Um, I've heard this brought forth in from multiple different Mazzaroth researchers. And then also, if you've been following along for a while, you understand the importance of what's called the Golden Gate of the Ecliptic. And this line coming from the Hyades in the head of Taurus going across to the Pleiades, that's associated with Orion. If you look at the alignment, then they have connected it with the belt stars of Orion, and this golden gate of the ecliptic, this line that goes across Taurus to the Pleiades. Um, all the planets and all the asteroids and comets that come through this section are essentially crossing a specific line in the heavens, and there's a lot of uh, stories connected to this part of the heavens from the Golden Gate of the Ecliptic through the horns of Taurus into what's called the Silver Gate. And if you've been following along, you know how important that Silver Gate is. So what this motion of Psyche through the horns of Taurus, again, let's go back because I want everybody to see what with Psyche, what happened. I believe it was in summer even. Um, that was in the fall. So back here, Psyche was again moving through. We're just going to move through and watch the motion of Psyche, basically marking the horn, coming back, and then now going back to a very important spot in the heavens. So we want to make sure we point out this marking in the head of the bull and its alignment here. It's a very close alignment with Aldebaran, and I believe it is important for us to point this out. Give me one sec, Pam. I'm still having some sinus stuff, so I gotta take a quick break. Okay, so Psyche, let's go look at codes. Maybe it's down here. Okay, so asteroid Psyche equals Purim Rapture, portal activated. All systems go. Phoenix rising, gathering of Christ Church, my bride, safe location, the great shepherd, equal the Lord Zodiac. John the Baptist, Yeshaya, spiritual war, fake alien invasion, the mark, death and resurrection. I am found in Holy Bible. Escape the Matrix. March 16, my Jesus comes ready to break free. Hey, God. Um, Nothing more needs to be said. We are seeing Psyche, which again, for those who um are not connecting that, it's like let's just go here really quick because this has multiple meanings and it's important to go ahead and just dig into this yourself. Um, Psyche the totality of the human mind, conscious and unconscious. And then I think it's important to go here because this uh, brings forth an entire other side of this whole thing. And when you read and read through the connections with Venus and it's just important. Um, it's important to see the other connections, in my opinion, to get a deeper grasp of all of these mythological stories that have happened through time, because then you'll understand how uh, this is all connected to wedding mythology. It's all about a great wedding and um, husbands and wives and families. And once you've understood all of these mythologies as star lore, and you're not looking at it as, okay, well, this culture says this and that culture says this, and these guys all are saying different things. If you look at it as star lore, that these people are telling their own cultural star stories, then you can just connect the dots and go, oh, they're all talking about the exact same thing, but with their own twist in the story. And we can use this to have a deeper grasp of what is being shown to us in the heavens, because it is a grand story. And these classical um, cultural understandings, or what they call mythology, can give us a very deep understanding of what these star lore depictions meant to our ancestors. And that lets us know that these things are important because they've been passed down generation to generation. We're not here to worship any of these images. They're not gods to us. We don't look at them like the ancients did. We are looking at this strictly as a encoded story, because these very specific names were chosen for these asteroids and comets. And when you do the numerical encoding, it gives you a much deeper understanding of what you're seeing. It's like Psyche is the soul, and we're in the horn of Taurus. It's a judgment sign, but it's also a warning. It's a warning, and it's right here at the gate, and with the wise and the unwise, and it's like a balance of scales splitting the horns. And that's why I wanted to make sure I brought this much information with Psyche. Psyche has been one of the most important asteroids that I've been tracking for a very, very long time. It's also one of the first asteroids ever found. This is number 16, Psyche. And you can do the new uh the breakdown of the gematria with the numbers of Psyche, and you can also look deeper into the mythology yourself. I will go ahead and connect that in the description for anybody who wants to do that Psyche deep dive. So let's get to the next one. We're going to go to the Sky Live for this because I don't have the ability to pull up either of these with the Stellarium web. So we're going to be using Sky Live. We don't have the artwork with Sky Live. If there is artwork and somebody knows how to get that, please let me know in the comments. I don't think there is artwork for the Sky Live. Give me 1 sec. I have to take 1 second. Okay, so we're here on the Sky Live. We're looking at the Cancer constellation, and we are looking at Comet 217P Linear and 3I Atlas. And I have been behind on all of my comet decodes because the majority of them are not coming up on Stellarium web. I'm not sure how and why they do what they do with the Stellarium web, but I'm going to be able to hopefully get this thing turned around here soon. I'm only in this location until the end of the month, and then I'm going down to see some family in February, and hopefully I'll have a better setup when I get down there, and I'll have some the help that I need to make this happen better. But here, what we're looking at is two very important comets. This is 3I Atlas, the interstellar object, and then Comet 217P Linear. And I just want we're back at January the 10th, and I want everyone to watch the motion of these two comets going through the Cancer constellation. For those of you who are new, this is a very important location in the heavens. This Prasepe area of Cancer is called the Beehive Cluster. It's also called the Manger. And it's also the location of where the innumerable seed of the woman is. It can also be seen as the sheep's pen, and so on. So let's go here. I want you to watch the motion of these comets through the Cancer constellation. Let's go back because it started skipped. So we're looking at the 11th of January, the 12th is when 3I Atlas made its alignment with one of the crab claws. And then we see on the 21st, if we go back one day on the 20th, 3I Atlas makes another alignment with Cancer. And then on the 21st, our reporting day, 217P Linear makes its alignment. And it's very, very close to what we call the donkeys. So these two stars here in Cancer are considered donkeys. And if you know the story of Christ coming into Jerusalem on a donkey, then you know how important donkeys are. This, to me, is a very, very important sign. Let's go ahead and look at the codes. This is Comet Linear, aligning with the scarab beetle. In the Cancer constellation, Comet Linear equals King Jesus. Captain America, Lion of Judah, White Lion, Mary Magdalena, Freemason, the Mark of Cain, Idol Shepherd, Hold on, I'm coming, Redeemed Israel, God is coming, Celestials, House of God, the Barbello Code, Higgs Boson, God's Wrath, Brimstone, Biden End Times, and Obama Harlots. Okay, fam. That to me is pretty strong language, and we're looking at King Jesus sitting on top of his donkey. And the code really brings this out. This is the innumerable seed. And Three Eye Atlas was just marking the entire event. And this interstellar object is been a marker in all of our signs. Let's just go back and let's watch how this comet essentially went before. Okay, here they are. They're both coming in. January the 11th, they're both coming into Cancer and making their alignments. Three Eye Atlas marking the entire time until the 21st when 217P linear makes its alignment. And again, this is King Jesus on top of a donkey. So I wanted to make sure we brought that out. And I don't have this Three Eye Atlas pulled up because it made its alignment on the last alignment was on the 20th. And so I'll make sure I get that last alignment into a code drop in the community. Okay. My next one is Lorena. Let's go back to Stellarium. And we're looking at asteroid Florena. And here we are, we're looking at the alignment. And we can see that Florena is aligned between the stars. And you don't have to be exact, precisely right on the line. But this is how the star work was done. That's why they even have these lines. Is that the story goes along with these projected stars. You can also, if an asteroid aligns with any other star in the constellation, that could also be seen as an alignment because the stars themselves have names. And each of those stars can be decoded, and more wisdom from the encoded language can be brought forth. And from my experience, it always seems to align with the story, like the last one, King Jesus. Wait a minute, the comet is literally sitting on top of a donkey. Oh, I'm sorry, that's too much. So here we see Florena aligning with the water bearer, Aquarius. So let's go hunt down Florena. And Florena equals Great Spirit, the Holy Ghost, the source, prime number, interpret code, golden key, Fibonacci sequence, one true God, the greatest I am, the lost sheep, forehead has been sealed, last president, son of Saturn, market plunge, skullduggery, shelves are cleared, January 1st, thy kingdom come, fast of Esther. Okay, I think this all perfectly aligns also because we can see in the beginning we get Great Spirit, Holy Ghost, and we can see the connection to the water bearer. Water is considered spirit like air. It's considered fire, water, and air. It can come in multiple ways. And this alignment with the water bearer can be seen as the spirit being poured out. And I think we are seeing a great pouring out of the spirit. I've seen a great increase in the amount of interaction and questions and um, even the comments are really good, and people are really interacting and getting uh, I think getting the information that they need, and that is helping people to have a deeper understanding of how important this is in the heavens, because this is not something that's secondary to the signs. This is the most important part of all of it, is having the understanding of what we're seeing in the heavens. And all of these asteroids seem to be playing a huge role in the signs in the heavens. And when I first started discovering how that was playing out, I was literally on the floor going, I can't even believe that this is happening the way that it's happening, because once I started putting together all the different pieces of the story and seeing how these codes brought out even a deeper understanding, I was in awe. And I hope you are too, because it's a grand story. And I'm just scratching a very small percentage of what is going on in this grand story. And I think there needs to be a lot more people digging deeper into the things that I'm not even covering. And I know there's a lot of other Mazzaroth researchers now that are doing some great work. Um, but I just have this piece of what I'm doing, and I want to stay focused on the piece that I've been given. And I hope that blesses everybody in the community to have this part of the story. So Florena seems to be very important, like a pouring out of the spirit, because I'm seeing that uh, from my own perspective. Okay. Next, we want to make sure we bring forth, and let's do this. We're going to go ahead and we're going to show this really quick. I've already discussed this in the community, and we're just going to watch this transit here. This is the first. This is very important, though. Yeah, I want everybody to understand this. Let's scroll back. This uh, triangle in Capricorn here that is represented by the goat with the bent knee. This is the sacrificial goat. And this, for me, doing my decodes has always been the temple of sacrifice. And in the marriage story, for those of you who've been following along, the father's house or temple has been represented by this tabernacle in Sagittarius. And for me, that has always been the tabernacle of the bridegroom because he hasn't received his bride yet. So he's living in the Father's house. And back here in Capricorn, this is a representation of Christ. He's the sacrifice and the resurrection. And so in the backyard of the Father is the new tabernacle of the bridegroom. And this is his temple or tabernacle. And this is now where the bridegroom will bring his bride into his own home because Sagittarius is the house of the Father, and in the backyard is the house of the Son, the temple of the Son, the tabernacle of the bridegroom, the new tabernacle, the new Jerusalem. And so we're looking at the wedding guests having been all gathered together, and now we're witnessing Venus, the very first of the wedding guests, entering into the temple. And we're watching it at the very end of the day into this morning, or yesterday, sorry. We're watching Venus enter into the temple. Okay, so that is a very important piece of this whole wedding story. And we'll be getting to that in more detail in our next Escape of the Bride. But I want to make sure everybody understands that this wedding story is not over. It's just getting to the most exciting part, which is all the wedding guests entering into the temple of the Son, the tabernacle of the bridegroom. And we can't leave anybody out. We all have to go into the temple, the sign of the final stage of the wedding feast. So get excited on the 21st, right into the morning of the 22nd. Venus, the very first wedding guest, enters into the tabernacle. Okay, so I wanted to make sure everybody understands the importance of that. And I've also posted in the community section for those of you who haven't seen that or you just use your phone. In order for you to get a deeper understanding of all of these things I'm showing, it's best to take the opportunity, if you can, jump on a computer or a tablet and get onto the community section of the channel and jump in there and begin going through the stuff that I post because that brings a whole nother um, dimension to the videos. So if you haven't done that, please do that and interact with the rest of the body. Okay, next we're going to asteroid Corolla. And we're looking at asteroid Corolla making its alignment yesterday here with Sagittarius. And we'll just call it there. This is asteroid Parola aligning with the wing of Sagittarius. It's also the exit of the tabernacle. It's also a connection to Noon Key Star. And this line is also connected with the arm of Sagittarius that holds the bow and arrow. You can see the connection with the hand and the arm and the bow. And so anytime there's a connection with this line or the star noon key or any of this section to this star here, this is considered the arm that controls the bow of Sagittarius. So we're looking at the alignment of Parola. Let's go hunt down Parola. And wouldn't you know, asteroid Parola equals the bride of Christ. Great solar flash, red tsunami, year of the dragon. Forehead has been sealed. Markets plunge and skullduggery. January 1st. We are getting the same exact codes, family. You cannot make this stuff up. I didn't choose this to happen this way, but these codes are aligning. Last Christmas, Age of Ultron, Crown Virus, Vile Judgment, Draco Sauronian, Huge Asteroid, the prime number, Rapture Soon, Oil to Trim Lamp. And I want everybody to remember that SARS-CoV-2 is a Corolla variant. Okay, fam, you can't make these things up. We keep getting signs of the bride of Christ and the rapture together. And we're looking at Corolla aligning with the wing of Sagittarius. It's a sign of protection. It's also a sign of guidance. And it can also be a sign that the bride is in spiritual warfare. And I don't know about you, but boy, oh boy, has that been part of the program for me for a very long time. I believe that that's part of the illness, and it's just a continuous battle because of the work that I'm doing. And I accept it. It's not a problem because it's par for the course, in my opinion. And so we're going to keep doing this work until we're completely unable to do this work. Nothing's going to stop us. We are moving forward. And, this is vitally important information, and I hope everyone out there understands how deeply important these signs are. Okay, next we're going to Vesta. And this is why I'm saying everybody needs to get excited, because this is only the second um, wedding guest. Now, Vesta, remember Vesta, it essentially is the virgin, the Vestal Virgin. And once you understand the basics of the mythology, you just apply that, right? If we understand Venus correctly, because she's on the left side of the sun. If you have not heard this from me or somebody else, When Venus is on the left side of the sun here on any of your star programs, she's uh, a feminine, a feminine sign, and it can be seen as the bride of Christ. It can be seen as the spirit. It can be seen as the mother. It can be seen as the um, feminine aspect of Christ. Even it can be seen as Sophia. But we are looking at this as uh, the evening star. And when it's an evening star, it's the feminine side. We now have Vesta, and we're going to just watch how Vesta moves in right at the very end of the day. We're looking at Vesta entering into the tabernacle of the bridegroom. And we see here up close, she's now all the way in, and it's the 23rd. So this is very important. This is only the second of the wedding guests to enter into the new tabernacle of the bridegroom. So let's go look at the Vesta codes. This is asteroid Vesta equals God's secret plan, divine cosmic secret, secret energy key, secret window, vortex, God's trumpet, Jupiter's ark, return to my kingdom, tribes of Israel, war in Israel, beginning of the end, prayers of the faithful, helmet of salvation, your guardian angels, Nazareth, day of atonement. Remember, the goat section of Capricorn is the temple of atonement. High God speaks to heaven, light of Venus, bride on a road to heaven. The key in the sequence has begun. And look up top, secret energy key. So we're talking about the bride in rapture language, and we are seeing this like a key. Vesta is like the virgins have the key. They're going into the door by the light of Venus, and the messengers right behind them. This is all star language that's very important for our wedding. Okay, next we're going to Comet Shomos. Let's go back to Virgo. Um, okay, we're having technical difficulties, so we're just going to do it ourselves. We're here at Virgo, and we're looking at 24P Shomos. We can see Shomos is in the constellation of Bootes. And what we're going to be looking at is Shomos on Meridian, I believe. So let's go look for that. So we're looking at Comet Shomos on Meridian with Arcturus. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Job verses what connected with the Mazzaroth, If you have been following along with Mazzaroth 101, Arcturus is one of the most important stars in the heavens. And this also aligns with the, uh, if you look at the constellation of Virgo, one of her legs has a bend in it. And in star lore, that is considered the woman bending her knee in the marriage. And she's taking her vows. Remember, in our wedding story, Libra is the wedding altar. So she's taking her vows before the altar. And you can even see that uh, this is also a wedding story here. If you look at Bootes as Christ and Virgo as his bride, and you have the Coma constellation used to be a mother and a child, a baby. The baby was being held by the mother, and this is um, a wedding story just right here within this three constellations. And then Libra seen as the altar where the vows were made, and that's why she has this bent knee section. And not many people talk about that, but that's part of the star lore. And we can see how this alignment with Arcturus on Meridian is with her bent knee. So that's important to bring that forward. Arcturus is very important. I don't want to go into the star lore or the details of Arcturus right now, but this alignment with 24P Shomos, let's look at these codes. This is Comet Shomos equals bottomless pit, insurrection, Metatron's cube, Last Supper, the Son of Perdition, Resurrection, United Nations. Behold, Jesus is back. Apocalypse Now, Tree of Knowledge, First Horseman, Last Days, Babylon is fallen. Mathematical language of God. I am flipping the script. In the cloud, the Lord, AI singularity, the seventh angel, the final code of codes to crack, October full moon, first fruits, and mass uprising. This is again very important spot in the heavens. Remember, Bootes holds the sickle, the harvest tool. And if you remember back, if you've been following along, Comet Shomos was marking the sheaf of corn. Some people say that it is a palm branch. It can also be seen in some cultures as like amaranth or even in some cultures she's holding a feather. I've seen it in multiple different depictions. In most of those it are associated with harvest or flight. So very important sign, 24P Shomos. I have one more comment, but for sake of time, we're just going to just do the codes because I'm gonna have to use um the Sky Live and it takes me a little longer and we're already at 50 minutes. So Comet Garrels aligning with the water bearer Aquarius equals the Christ. 888. Anunnaki code. Democrats. Be ready at 8. 10 Phoenix. I am raising the dead. White horse. 7-7. Vaccinations. Bull bones. The serpent. Prodigal son. The son of man. 9/11 FEMA. Archangel Raphael. I am the Messiah. Stellarium. Seventh seal and door closing. Again, Daryl's aligning in Aquarius, and I will open that up and take a still shot and post it in community for those of you who want to be able to see that. I just don't want to take the time because I'm trying to get through this, and I'm only at like halfway through all the stuff I have. Okay, so we've got the two comets. Now we're at Dombowska. I'm going to try to get through faster than normal just because of time. And this, again, another very, very important sign because of the location. This is Dembowska, which has been one of the most important asteroids that I've been tracking all along. This one has just constantly been involved in the wedding signs through each house. It just seems to be constantly involved. So we have Dembowska aligning with the tabernacle, and it also is in alignment with the white horse rider. So this is a very important alignment happening today. Later at the end of the day, Dembowska aligning with Sagittarius, the white horse rider, and then again, it's also like Dembowska exiting the tabernacle of the Father, heading down this again, like the yellow brick road or the golden road or however you want to look at it. Dembowska, like the moon, is now coming out of the Father's tabernacle. So let's look at the codes for Dembowska. Okay, we've got asteroid Dembowska equals the bride of Christ. White horse rider. The kingdom of heaven is at hand, as in the days of Noah. Great American eclipse, the silver and gold threads. Wormwood star, you are the key holder, the Holy Spirit, on with the wind. I am free from all debts, Jesus the Christ, Yeshu of Nazareth, the Lord of hosts, Lion's Gate portal, resurrections. Behold a pale white horse, Melchizedek Bible wheel. I didn't make those up. Here we are. You cannot make these things up. They have to be connected. We're looking at Dembowska, one of the most important parts of the entire wedding story, just coming out of the Father's house as a witness to all of the wedding guests entering into Capricorn. I mean, that's the way I can see this. Like, Dembowska is one of the very last to exit Sagittarius, the house, the temple, like Dembowska was in there, making whatever atonement, or in the temple doing special prayers or whatever you can associate that with. Um, it was in there when the moon came through, and it has been showing us a very, very special sign. And we can see within the codes that it is pointing to that. And then it's also like a warning of what's here and what's about to happen. So Dembowska has always been very, very important in our signs. Let's go to a Sekome next. And again, we're getting another sign. This one, I believe we'll have to go back to the beginning of the day. We're looking here today, this morning, at it's around 4, a little after 4, before 3:47, and we're looking at a Sekome entering into the temple of resurrection. So we have some of our wedding guests already entering into what I consider the Lazarus temple. He's got to have a place for his best man. And so this is the temple of resurrection, and I call this the Lazarus temple. So Asekome has entered into the temple of resurrection. It's represented by a fish coming to life. And for those of you who don't know, Capricorn is a water sign. This is considered a sea goat, and a sea goat is part fish, part goat, and that representation is a water sign. So this can also be seen as a great spiritual sign, and it can be seen as resurrection, and you can be seen as baptism, and you go beneath the water and then you come out of the water. Um, there's a lot of different representations for Capricorn that go very, very deep. When you're just learning, it's just important to understand that the main part of Capricorn is the death and the resurrection of Christ. So we have our alignment with a Sekome, and let's go hunt that. Asteroid Sekome equals I'm completing the code. I'm calling dead man to breathe. I'm a lighthouse. Holy double eight. He is our redeemer. Perfect alignment. Christmas star. Mercury 7. September 9th. Follow the rabbit. CERN is the beast. Antichrist beast. Cyber germ warfare. Computer AI. SARS-CoV Corolla. Crushing snakes, the oil of Christ, and you raise me up. Now, I didn't say those codes myself. Those were all associated with the word asteroid Asekome. And it's entering into the temple of resurrection. You raise me up. Okay, so let's go to our next on the 23rd. Let's now go. I'm sorry, we're here. Let's watch Mercury now enter into the tabernacle of the bridegroom. So now we have Venus, Vesta, and at the very beginning of tomorrow morning, we'll be here on Meridian just after midnight. Mercury enters into the temple here just after midnight tonight. We have Mercury entering into the tabernacle of the bridegroom. So now we're looking at the third main guest entering into this section. And as we just saw, we have another one that's already in the temple of resurrection. So we have a bunch of guests. We still have to have the bridegroom go in and Mars go in, and then we will have all of the main guests inside of the house. But we're looking at tomorrow morning, just after midnight, we will have Mercury transition into the tabernacle of the bridegroom. Okay, I'll be right back. All right. So we have our next is Eros. And we have to go in for this one. And we're looking at Eros aligning with Aries. Let's go one more minute. Just before the end of the 24th, we see Eros here aligning with Aries. Asteroid Eros equals I broke the gematria code. Don Trump, Peter the Roman, finished cross, spirit birth, God's anointing, Jesus cross, Jesus gospel, morning star, nuclear weapon, December 7th, gematria code of God, divine presence, divine matrix, satanic ritual, the Trinity, look for his safe place. See, I opened, sealed, scroll, the scroll be open. K-P. That's asteroid Eris aligning with the ram. Okay, we can see this as a image of Christ, and we have an alignment with 433 Eros. For those of you who want to do the numbers, 433 Eros. All right, let's keep moving. Next, we are at Apophis. And all of these signs are very, very important. We're looking at, this is tomorrow morning, we're looking at Apophis aligning with the water bearer. Now, depending on what asteroid alignment or comet or planet you're looking at, it can bring forth other language. And we know Apophis is a sign of the great serpent. And it's also a sign, well, let's just go dig at the codes. Let's see where Apophis is. Okay, so bride, you are bride of Christ. I, God, come to take bride home. Rapture ark, God's family, Christ the Redeemer, morning stars, a storm is coming. Plasma apocalypse, atomic holocaust, bunkers of doom, mark of Antichrist, spirit of Nimrod, brain chip Neuralink, the Anunnaki angels, the Dracos shall be defeated. See, CERN opened a portal. Hey, those of you who know, we've been tracking Vesnina's involvement. It's pointing out asteroid Vesnina, the 7 stars, be the lighthouse. This is the alignment of Apophis and the water bearer. This can be also an alignment that points to tribulation. And this is the first alignment with Apophis and the water bearer. Okay, let's just keep moving so we'll finish this up. Next is Apollinaire. And this is almost at the same time. You just have a couple hours later. We're looking at Apollinaire aligning with the water stream of Aquarius. So let's look at Apollinaire equals killed serpent in garden, artificial intelligence, decode phoenix rising, total lunar eclipse, Antiochus Epiphanes, concentration camps, the Lord of the Rings, reptilian bloodlines, I am living word of God, I'm Holy Grail, a prison break Messiah, he the chosen one taken K God, be disciple of all nations, great awakening reset, Passover Exodus, His Majesty the King, nuclear war Russia, code portal activated, false flag nuclear America, water stream of Aquarius. These are all important parts of the entire story. Next, we're going to Amiamini. Pay attention to the sign. Now we're looking at another asteroid. And this is happening the very next morning or middle of the day. We're here on the 25th now. And we're looking at Amiamini aligning with the water stream. Asteroid Amiamini equals this is the end. Code 5th dimension. Hold on one sec, fam. Okay. Like father, like son. Goddess Sophia. Pistis Sophia. Observatory. Install bread of life. Release the Kraken. Babylon is fallen. Economic collapse. Excuse me. Hold on one sec. I got to take 1 second. Hold on. Okay. Economic collapse. April 14th. The 13th. Asteroid Hecate. March 30th. Sign in the sky. 88 miles per hour. Rock solid codes. Rise, fire, rise. All will be revealed. And Revelation 10. In the water stream of Aquarius. This is the 25th, and we are now going to Anastroda. And we're looking at Anastroda. And we're looking at Anastroda aligning on meridian with Neptune. This is an important alignment on meridian, Anastroda, and Neptune in the house of Pisces. Asteroid Anastroda equals bottomless pit. I'm a lion hunting the cabal, okay? See cabal be sinking in quicksand. Insurrection. Metatron's cube. Last Supper. Put God first, the son of perdition. Last days. Babylon is fallen. Symbol of Lambda. Month of regeneration. Blood moon ritual. Ritual sacrifices. Divine revelation. January 12th. Enoch doth Hermes in the cloud, the Lord, Mark the Phoenix. Okay. We keep getting deep language. This is an alignment on meridian with Neptune. Neptune is the god of the underworld, and it's associated with Cetus. And we can see how Neptune is right at the tail of the sea beast, the sea dragon, the sea serpent, even it's been called. Cetus holds the bands of the fish. All of these are water signs, including Capricorn. Okay? It's important language. Next, we're going to Itokawa. And we have another Aquarius alignment. Here we're looking at the 25th. And we have Aquarius alignment with Itokawa. We've gotten a lot of these alignments with Aquarius. And it's really important for us to pay attention to each of the signs and what they're telling us. So let's look at these codes. Asteroid Itokawa equals Russia, 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 Trump, 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 moon, 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 weather modification, you are Christ's vehicle, holy angel of the apocalypse, Barry Satoro, decode the key of David, final countdown, 111, the true Messiah, savior of mankind, May 14th, the snake has been beheaded, East head wound, event horizon, Yes, Mary Magdalene in the flesh. Scorpio rising. Heavenly sword. And this is the alignment of how many now? Like four different asteroids aligning in Aquarius, pointing us to something being poured out. Now, that can be dual sign. It can be a pouring out of judgment, and it can also be a pouring out of the spirit. And that depends on what you're seeking and how you're living your life. Okay, now we're going to Hecate. There's a lot in this report, and I don't want to miss any of these things. This is an incredible alignment here. It's actually on the 24th, right? Tomorrow, right before midnight. You have asteroid Hecate on meridian aligning with the wing of Sagittarius. Again, this line with Noon Key is also a sign of the bow and arrow and the arm that controls the bow and arrow in Sagittarius. So this was a very important alignment to me. Let's make sure we've got that in here. There we go. Asteroid Hecate equals this is the end. Son of Satan. I decipher hidden meanings. Ruach HaKodesh. Code fifth dimension. I am being. I genetic DNA match. Him pick the bride of I God. Like father, like son. Goddess Sophia. Gematrinator, Quantum Leap, Age of Aquarius, False Prophet, Tribulation, World War III, Happy Hanukkah, 7-day fast, Real ID, Digital ID chip real, Eternal Logos, and Install Bread of Life. Hecate aligning with a very important spot in the Sagittarius constellation. Okay. Hannah. And this is an awesome alignment. When I saw this, I was just in awe. This is Hannah. This is incredible, family. When these asteroids come this close to these stars, this is Kappa Virginis, and we have Hannah inside the coma of the star. This is a great alignment in the constellation of Virgo. And remember, we were talking about the bent knee section. This is Hannah right at the bent knee of, well, let's see if there's a, okay. I was going to say, oh my gosh, if it aligns with Arcturus, it's close, fam. Um, as we were saying before, that it does align with this other star, but not this star. But it's really, really close. This is the alignment with Hannah. And let's jump into the Hannah codes. I need to take one quick second. I'm still having a lot of sinus issues. Everything else is fine, but my sinuses are just going crazy right now. So forgive me. Okay, we're gonna do our best to get through this last bit. My sinuses are going crazy, so forgive me. I've got Hannah, and let's go get the codes for Hannah. Asteroid Hannah equals open doors, 99. Judgment Day, Ascension Day, Transhuman, Pandora's Box, Hadron Collider, All Dead, The Book of Life, Holy Ghost, Giant Red Wave, Rapture Date, Root of David, House of David, 318, Orion, Belt, Lightbringer, 888, Birds Come Home, God on a Cloud, and what? Arcturus. I'm really sorry. Nobody can ever tell me that there is not something going on here. This is Hannah aligning almost perfectly with Arcturus. Remember, we just discussed the location of and the bent knee of Virgo. This is about the vows of the bride to the bridegroom, the one holding the sickle. This is January the 25th. Arcturus is in the scriptures. Asteroid Hannah in Virgo, the bride. Okay, enough said. Now we're going to our last sign for this decode. Here we are, fam. We're looking at the bridegroom. We got Venus in the house. We got Mercury in the house. We've got Vesta in the house. We've got, we'll just call it, um, the spirit. We've got the messenger. We've got the virgins. Now the bridegroom arrives. Bridegroom is entering into the new tabernacle of the bridegroom. In 2 days, on January the 25th, the sun will enter the new tabernacle of the bridegroom. We can see here all of the guests are now in the house. And let's back it up. I forgot to show this one sign. Keep your eye on Mars. Mars enters on the 23rd. And then we move forward, and now we're seeing the sun enter into the temple. So we are now the only one we're waiting for is Mars to enter into the temple, the tabernacle of the bridegroom. This is where the final act of the wedding takes place. And we're waiting for all of the wedding guests to enter into the temple. This is our sign in the heavens for the great wedding feast. And we're watching the very, very final signs in the heavens It's not about a calendar on somebody's wall. It's about the heavenly clock pointing us to the sign in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. We can see it for ourselves. We don't need somebody else to tell us because we can see it right here. So I want to thank everybody for coming. We're already at an hour and 24 minutes, and I've gone way longer than I expected. But I needed to bring out all of the details of this 5 day journey. This is going to end on the 25th. We'll get back and we'll be doing a deep dive into the importance of the sun entering into this section of Capricorn, because I believe this aligns with a very important code, and we'll be breaking that down. We'll be going into details. We'll probably release that um, either the evening of the 24th or the morning of the 25th, if everything is still functional and operational. For those of you who have been watching the news, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening, so anything can happen at any moment. So keep yourself prepared for all things and stay in prayer and make sure that you are continuing to watch daily and not being drawn into the things of the world. Much love. We will see you very soon.